Hello and welcome to this new episode of Mean Opinion. My name's Matt.
Hello.
This is Dapper Dean today with a lovely suit, I might add.
Straight out of work, not at Compton.
Today we are going to be looking at 3 of the hottest albums that are getting released in March. May have been already released or coming up later in the month. We're going to be looking at Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds. We're going to be looking at Prodigy's new album. And we're going to be looking at Madonna's new album. 3 big hitters right there.
Big names.
I can't wait to listen to all of them because it's been such a long time since we've heard any fresh material from any of them. So we'll start with the freshest of them all. Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds. The album's called Chasing Yesterday. We're going to listen to a track called Lock All the Doors. And then we'll give you the mean opinion. So that's Lock All the Doors, taken off Chasing Yesterday, the new album by Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds. Dean, as always, to yourself for a bit of an opinion.
Well, I mean, I grew up with Oasis, and it's 20 years later since Definitely Maybe.
Yep.
And it sounds like 20 years later.
Well, it doesn't sound like 20 years later. If anything, it sounds like it's Noel Gallagher's High Flying Time Machine. He's gone back in time and he's like, oh, well, I used to write songs for this band that people used to like, so maybe if I write songs like that again, they'll like my new band.
Yeah. Look, as far as Noel Gallagher goes, the geezer's a self-opinionated prick, right? And someone needs to say that because he's such a self-publicist of himself. The way he's even slagging down the Arctic Monkeys, who, don't get me wrong, are a bunch of cocks himself.
Like him.
No, he's slagging them down just for his own,
Just,
bit of a media storm. He's not clever. He just acts like a bastard so people read about him and read about his new album. But as far as the album goes, the first song on the album starts with Wonderwall.
Yep.
I hear a song that sounds just like the Master Plan. There's a track in it that we just heard there which sounds like something off of, maybe the third album by Oasis. But there's still people that dig him, and I understand that as well. People still love Noel Gallagher and they still love the Oasis thing, but he misses Liam, and Oasis as a team are a good little band.
Yeah.
And they make all right records. Okay, not as good as they did in their heyday, but Noel Gallagher on his own, it's whiny, it's boring, it's dull, it's not for me. I'm sorry, it's a 2 out of 10 if anything.
2 out of 10. Well, this is, I was never a big Oasis fan as a kid, and Noel and Liam, they're like the Ant of Dec of indie for me. I can't tell which one's which.
I can see that.
Yeah. They both got really annoying Manc accents. They both wear anoraks and stuff. And I knew they split up. I couldn't even tell you what Liam Gallagher's band's called. He went off and did another thing, didn't he?
Oh,
were they Baby? Not Baby.
No, that's not Baby Shambles. That's Pete Doherty. Oh God, I can't remember.
They were called that.
There they are.
Well, again, it sounded exactly like Oasis. And for me, if you split from a band, I mean, look, when Paul McCartney split up with John Lennon, at least he made the Frog Chorus, which was a departure from the Beatles.
It was definitely
It wasn't a good thing, but it was a departure from what the Beatles did, where these guys have just gone off and gotten a guitar and like, well, I remember this chord went down well. And then they just play Wonderwall 6 times over on an album. And there's people that are going to lap it up. And that's the thing that annoys me. Not you, but you're going to buy it. And then this guy's going to be like, oh, well, maybe I'll buy it. Yeah, you should. Just don't bother. We'll move on to the next album we're going to be looking at, which is the new one from Prodigy. It's been about 5 years since their last album. Take Me to the Hospital, I'd like to say. It's not that. It was called something. I think I might be right.
I can't remember. The last one I
bought it. It's probably the last CD I bought on CD. It's probably the last CD I bought. But this new one's called The Day Is My Enemy. It's out at the end of the month on the 30th of March, and we're going to listen to the first single that was taken off called Nasty. You're from London, which is near where the Prodigy are
from Essex. But yeah.
They're from Essex, which is essentially London these days. What do you think of that?
Well, hey, going back to Noel, who is a bit one foot in the 90s,
yeah.
the Prodigy have got several feet in the 90s as well, to be fair.
Every foot.
I would say so. But dance music hasn't progressed that much in the last 20 years, and that was actually pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah, I've got to say, like I said, I bought their last album. I actually own quite a few of their albums, and you can't see a lot of progression.
No.
On them. In fact,
it's not the Beatles back catalogue, is it?
Yeah,
you hear all the changes.
But it's, I guess it's the warming comfort of being middle-aged now, and I'm like, oh, I remember when I used to listen to a band that sounded like that. It takes me back to when I was young.
Yeah, and it's not fresh, but it is in a way. And the thing I think about it though is I'm not really sure when I'm going to listen to it, being old myself now.
Yeah.
But also as well, can you imagine like Liam, who out of not Oasis but out of the Prodigy, he's getting on now, you know. And
he's
like,
got to be pushing
as we get older, we don't really want to listen to this kind of music. He has to mix this in
he's
his
got to
room.
make it. He's there.
It must be hard work for him to get the time to go upstairs and think, oh, fucking boom, boom.
Or maybe
Try and make that.
what he's done is like a reverse 2-pack where he recorded all this shit back in the 90s, and instead of dying and then releasing it, he's just like, well, I'm going to stay alive and pretend that I've been making this. That's why it sounds like it's from the 90s but still a bit fresh.
What a plan that is.
That would have been genius. There we go. That's another fact. It's actually recorded in 1995. Right, so there you go. That's the first mean opinion on an album that actually did well.
Yeah,
that's a bit shocking.
High five.
Yeah, bam.
Yeah.
That one's for Prodigy.
Yeah,
right.
there you go.
Next up, an album that's definitely gonna have opinions from people. It's the new Madonna album. It's called Rebel Heart. It's already out. You might have listened to some of it. Some of the tracks got leaked. We're gonna listen to the new single called Ghost Town. So this is
not that
Ghost
Town.
No, not that one.
Not
the
that,
other
yeah.
Ghost Town. It sounds like.
Probably
No one else around. We'll be two souls in a ghost town. When the world gets cold, I'll be your cover. Let's just hold on to each other. When it all falls down, we'll be two souls in a ghost town.
Well, that's a new album.
Yeah.
It's out.
It's out now, kids. Go buy.
No, Madonna. What do you say about Madonna that hasn't already been said? Other than maybe it's time to give it up. Because for me, it's just the same old shit. No one's going to buy it anymore. She's too old for the kids.
Yeah.
She's embarrassing her own kids. And first, funny thing of all is there's a song on this album. Go and listen to this song. It's number 2 or 3 on the album. I've been lucky enough to listen to it all today.
Yeah.
And it's about taking drugs. Now, we all talk about drugs. I get it. It's all funny. But this woman's 56 and she has lyrics such as, I can take ecstasy. I can sniff glue. I'm going to take some acid. No, you're not. No, you're not doing that. You'll have a glass of red wine. You'll be sitting there. The kids are doing their education, whatever's going on.
Doing their education.
Finishing school,
Homework,
that's what they do.
else.
What everyone else calls it. She ain't taking drugs. She has a glass of vodka and that's about it.
There's a certain type of drug should be taken now. It's called HRT. That's what happens to a woman of a certain age.
She ain't going to sing about that, Rebel Heart.
The Goldie Looking Chains already sang about HRT. Different story. Yeah, but it's a case of she was groundbreaking and fair play to her. She had an impressive career. The 80s, the 90s, they were all for Madonna. She needs to move over into a mentor position on some kind of talent show now.
Yeah, that's her place. You're right.
That's where it needs to go. Out of the 3 of them, I would rather listen to Noel Gallagher on repeat than that Madonna album. But I would rather just listen to the Prodigy album.
So the main question remains, 56, Madonna, would you?
What, listen to her album? No. And there we have it. There is this week's Mean Opinion. We'll be back as ever. You can find us on facebook.com/Mean Opinion. There's tweet us at Mean Opinion. You can subscribe on YouTube, and you can now also go to our brand new website.
Well done, Matt.
Thank you. meanopinion.com. You can suggest things for us to review. You can watch past episodes and just generally have a good time, unlike we did listening to Madonna's album
All day.